Hi everyone, this is Kenzie. Hello. I'm talking about Helluva Boss today. The show where they say fuck, like a lot. I'm just gonna let y'all know where my heart is at before we even get started, because there's a community of people that staunchly hate this show, and there's also a large community of people that'll defend it with their lives. I love Helluva Boss, and I like Has Been Hotel. I even have Helluva Boss merch. But does that mean I automatically like everything the show does? Nah, if anything, I believe being a fan of something is even more grounds to see things about the show that I personally don't like. But am I gonna qualify every single thing I say I like with a negative? Nah, I ain't doing that either. This video is not an objective deep dive into the show and all of its background and shit, because honestly, I don't even think I really need to do that, especially not as much as other people have already. I'm just gonna talk my shit, and if you wanna smell it, then this video will be going over every episode in season 1, and it will be me talking about whatever I deem interesting and necessary to bring up. One of my friends introduced this to me at a con, and it took me by surprise. So we're just gonna have fun here, okay? Just keep that in mind. Okay, bitch, let's get it.
It's my stress, that's for sure.
So, before we get started on actual episodes, the pilot is what set the tone for everything, so let's get that out of the way first. As you may or may not know, this show was created by Vivian Medrano, otherwise known as Vivzie Pop. In a long line of indie animation pilots like Lackadaisy, Amazing Digital Circus, Murder Drones, Has Been Hotel, and Helluva Boss were some of the first majorly popular ones, with Helluva Boss being a titan of indie animation on YouTube with 2 seasons and a 3rd on the way, and Has Been Hotel being picked up by A24 and being a big-time Amazon Prime show. They grow up so fast. The pilot is almost a year older than the series itself, being uploaded on November 25th, 2019, and the first episode was released on October 31st, 2020. It's spooky. So of course, as you may expect, there are voice and animation differences between this and the official release. Now, with that being said, let's get into episode 0, simply called
And When I Become Hungry, I Want to Choke on That.
Clocking in at 11 minutes and 12 seconds, this is the shortest episode in the series. The pilot introduces the main cast of Blitzo, or Blitz, but the O is silent, as you may already know. Moxie, who is married to the southern girl Millie, and Luna, who is Blitz's adopted daughter. Blitz is voiced by Brandon Rogers, aka Day at the Park Brandon Rogers. Moxie is voiced by Zim.
What? Sim! What? Sim! What?
Millie swaps voices in the series, but for now she's voiced by Erica Lindbeck of Fucking Everything fame, and Luna is voiced by, Erica Lindbeck. They live in hell, and they are demons, which is pretty obvious by looking, and they make up a company called IMP, or Immediate Murder Professionals. Also, Blitz is an imp. Blitz is witty, unserious, and consistently broke.
The fuck is insurance?
Millie is southern and energetic. Moxie is uptight and irritable, but also obedient and tries his best to be a good husband to Millie. And Luna is your typical Hot Topic adjacent teenage daughter character, but she's sick as fuck. So essentially, they are one big happy family that only wants to kill each other a little bit. This episode also introduces a character named Stolas, who is a married bird, and Blitz be fucking the shit out of him. And his wife obviously don't like that very much, but hey, when you say shit like
Your s*** and lick all of your
hell, I don't blame either one of them. We'll touch on them a bit later, but while their fucklationship is pretty much transactional for Blitz, it ain't ever just one phone conversation with these two. Personally, while I think this pilot is very fast and efficient at making sure you know what the fuck's going on and who everyone is, I don't think this episode is the most effective introduction to the series though. Yeah, it's striking and will make you raise an eyebrow at the bad words and the dirty jokes, but oh girl, this is just the pilot. Let's get started for real with episode 1.
You fucking dick shit!
Our first episode starts with a foolishly nice and sweet elementary school class singing a song about positivity. Ew. But this is a 13-minute episode and we ain't letting this shit go nowhere. The teacher says that she forgets that it's her husband's birthday, so she calls him on a non-specified video app. Okay, I don't expect a cheating husband to be too smart, but bitch, turn off your auto answer, you fucking freak. Also, throwing a fully wrapped condom at the computer is insane work. She crashes out, kills a kid, and then murders her husband with a shotgun and the mistress with a chainsaw, and then suicides herself. Yeah, the pilot was crazy, but I have no doubt that this filtered someone harder than Champions Road in Mario 3D World. So in case you didn't know, the way imp works is that someone dies in real life, you know, like in real life. If they hate the person they died to or whatever, they can come to imp and they will kill the person that wronged you. In her case, she wants revenge on the mistress because she survived. Personally, I would have checked and looted, but that's just me. Everyone thinks she's a hero for surviving the murderous crazy bitch. Hey, she said it, not me.
How does it feel to have survived such a crazy bitch?
So imp needs to fix that and finish the job. What's crazy though is that the survivor is still a cheater and she went to the class that witnessed it all from start to finish, and they call her a hero too. And yes, these are the same kids. I recognize the black one and the pink bow, so I guess she's alive too. So either they have the lowest object permanence ever conceived, or they just didn't get why she did that, but whatever. Also, may I bring your attention to his alerts? He has a specific button for Stolas, as if that's a bad thing, and a horny client. Okay, I'm getting distracted. I'm gonna mention, so I can keep this on record as well, the animation has improved from the pilot, and it's not like it was bad, it just got more refined from how it previously was. And Millie is now voiced by Vivian Nixon from now on, and I like her. Moving on. So Moxie needs to take the shot, but he's a little too nice to break up a family. But oh no, they're actually crazy as shit, and now it's an all-out war between the insane cannibal famable and these little demons that could. Blitz, while running for his life, receives a call from Stolas, and I may just be derailing just to talk about them when relevant, just saying, but Stolas likes Blitz. Likes him. But Blitz is fucking simply because he wants to use Stolas's magic grimoire so that he can go to the human world at will. But Stolas's request is that he returns the book once a month at midnight in exchange for stuffing his cloaca with his 7 circles of impish cock. Millie and Blitz get caught. Mama Cannibal tries to light them on fire. That doesn't work because duh, they're fucking demons. Mox comes in right on time to give her a lobotomy and everything is good. Moxie being such a good guy though, he wants the rest of the family to get reformed from being a bunch of freaks, but they are actually pretty decent people, just cannibals. Then they get blown up by the police and that was all for nothing, but it is what it is. It's a good first episode because the animation and character designs are refined greatly from the pilot, and the plot is setting things up for later, especially for Blitz and Stolas, and that will be expounded upon a little bit when they go to—
I know you're a pervert under there.
Yeah.
Okay. So this is where we start learning some shit, okay? We start this episode on Stolas first, and what we know about him so far is that he is cheating on his wife with Blitz, but now we get introduced to his daughter, Octavia, as a little girl. In order to calm her down, he takes her to the cosmos with his grimoire and sings the song that had me obsessed with this show, You Will Be Okay.
You'll be okay. Everything will be okay.
That's essentially saying that no matter what happens to him or to the world, she will be okay and everything will be okay. I love this song so much, and it's not even funny because we can see just how much he loves his daughter and vice versa. But damn, shit ain't okay in the present day. Via is now a teenager and a part of a broken household, and it's rough. Stolas is cheating and Stella is pissed. I guess now is a good time to mention that Stolas is high royalty and imps like Blitz are significantly less so. So them fucking is very unbecoming for Stolas, and Stella cares about that almost as much as getting cheated on. Stolas has become out of touch with his daughter as well, so he tries to take her to a theme park called LOO-LOO Land, and naturally, she isn't very thrilled.
I'd rather kill myself.
This is essentially the main seed for the rest of the episode. He hires bodyguards to help him out, which are Blitz and the rest, and this is mostly so that they can go out together. Stolas is very obsessed with Blitz, and he is very open about that in front of Octavia, which is something.
Why, hello, my big-dicked Blitzy.
What the fuck?
Dad!
Language, everyone.
It's kind of weird. What I particularly love about this episode is how Blitz keeps projecting onto Stolas that this is just a gig for him and that they should keep it professional. But he says shit like,
If you try fucking my little ass in that park, I swear to—
and I think it's hilarious. It's crass, on the nose, and overtly sexual. And so is my humor. So if you're new here, that's important to know about this channel you stumbled upon. Also, to touch on teenage Via a tad bit, she is incredibly based.
This place reeks case of insecure corporate shame.
She's pretty much a rebellious goth teen stereotype, so she's kind of a different side of the Luna coin, but Luna is more aggro and Via is a bit more subdued. Also, if you couldn't tell, Via hates it here. A big reason why is because she was traumatized by the Lululand clown Fizzarali, or Fizz for short. Both Blitz and Via go way back with that thing, and we learned that Blitz used to be a performer and Fizz uses this to taunt him. Too bad that this is a robot copy of Fizz, because Blitz would probably love to kill him, huh? Via and Stolas have a heart-to-heart about how she hates that her parents hate each other, and she also hates that he is cheating on Stella, but her real issue is just that she doesn't want to be left behind unable to find him like when she was a child. They resolve and the episode is over. Long story, reasonably paced. I love this episode to pieces. It made me feel the good feelings. Their resolution was done well, and overall, it's a great way to build on Stolas, who was previously just a comedic infidelity enjoyer who really wanted some red hot ass. Great episode, and the show is pretty good so far. So how's episode 3?
Game on, bitch.
Alright, I think from here I can start covering these videos at a bit of a brisker pace, because now the front line of how Helluva Boss is pretty much established at this point. We'll see how fast I go back on that. This episode is also good for building up a bit of Blitz's backstory, because this episode introduces the baddest bitch that I ever did see, Verosika Mayday.
Rehab is for sad loser wash-ups. So your sister says hi.
She's perpetually drunk, ain't trying to fix it, super famous, and she had a thing with Blitz way back when, but now she hates him and he hates her. Simple. She also has a hellhound of her own, and Luna likes him. Verosika takes his parking spot, and as a result, they need to make her get the fuck on somewhere. So Blitz enlists Moxie to convince them, but they instead threaten him with a wee bit of surprise butt sex, and that shit didn't work, so he challenges them to a challenge. If Imp can kill more people than Verosika's group can fuck, then they get the parking spot. So they kind of do that for a while. But Verosika basically cheats. Because she's a pop star, she basically hypnotizes everyone to get horny with another one of my favorite songs in the show, Vacay to Bone Town. Also, I won't be mentioning every song, so just an FYI, if I don't mention one of your favorite songs, it's just because they didn't appeal to me, but I don't dislike any song in general, but I don't know, I just think the hypnotic sound and smooth instrumental and vocals just hit different. A bit later on, Blitz oversteps when Luna is trying to make friends with Vortex, the other hellhound, and they get into it and she says that he's not her real dad, and that hurts him, but seeing as Blitz has an unhealthy relationship with rejection and getting close to people, he just kinda doesn't mention it again. But lord, that'll come up later in a big ass way. Verosika accidentally creates a monster with her alcohol, so Blitz immediately takes this as a way to blackmail her for the parking spot, and this works, but she gets caught by the cops anyway.
All right, sluts, get ready to suck a lot of pig dick.
Interesting solution. Okay, I support it. I like this episode a lot, but so far it ain't getting better than episode 2 for me. I just think there was more to chew on, but overall, episode 3 is a banger.
Oh Lord, where are we now? Oh, let me perish!
C.H.E.R.U.B is an episode where they are faced with a competition between them and an imp-like company named, well, C.H.E.R.U.B. C.H.E.R.U.B is essentially tasked with keeping people alive, so naturally, when Imp is tasked with killing someone that C.H.E.R.U.B is also responsible for, yeah, it's crazy, huh? I'm gonna keep it a big stack though. This episode really isn't for me as much as the others. I found the struggle between the companies pretty funny, but in general, I just wasn't feeling the story of this one. While this is an episodic show and the story isn't really linear right now, I just found C.H.E.R.U.B kind of obnoxious, but I think toxic positive characters just do that in general for me. I acknowledge that this is the point of C.H.E.R.U.B to be basically delusional and hide the horrors of the world from this man, while also being sweet and cuddly, even though they are just as vengeful as a demon would be, especially since they are heavenly beings. So it's obvious what the goal here is, it just wasn't my favorite. Of course, they end up actually achieving their goal though, but the man ends up dying anyway, so Rippy and Pippy. And they say that this isn't over, but because their actions resulted in the death of a human, they aren't allowed back in heaven anymore. And that's crazy work, but oh well.
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, no.
Like I said, not my favorite episode, but it's not bad by any means, just whatever to me. But spoiler alert, that feeling will be pretty rare as we go along. What I consider a good episode of Helluva Boss is essentially a fuck ton of humorous, witty quips and jokes, while also revealing things about the main characters, and from my memory, that happens relatively frequently, so any problems I do have going forward may not be related to that, but we'll see, right? But till that shit happens, let's go to—
Wait, what bitch is talking shit about me?
So this is one episode that I haven't watched in a while because I tend to skip to episode 6 because that episode is fucking fire, but I did not remember that Blitz and Stolas be fucking. We witnessed the aftermath of their escapades, and they even animate Blitz coughing up a feather, which can mean two things: that Stolas has feathers lining either the base of his dick or the bussy area, and if it is the dick, then that means that Blitz deep throats. Bitch, I do the research necessary to make educated observations. I am not scared of making these assumptions. Moving on. Stolas needs his magic book back from Blitz, but Blitz needs it as well, so Stolas invites him to the Harvest Moon Festival, and this is great for Millie because she gets to go see her family again. Moxie isn't super jazzed about the idea, but to be honest, he just doesn't really like anything. This is kind of a Moxie episode because it tends to focus on how he's really awkward and doesn't know how to communicate with Millie's southern ass family, and they introduce a character that aims to make him look terrible in front of his wife and really just look terrible in general. Even Millie's sister, Sally Mae, don't have much confidence in Mox either. And literally, this dude Stryker is just perfect at everything. So perfect, in fact, that Blitz offers him a position with Imp, which ain't making Moxie's day better. This episode is really just fucking with him at this point. Moxie discovers later, though, that Stryker ain't no good, and he tries to stop him from assassinating Stolas, but of course that doesn't work out, and he takes out Millie and Moxie, but then he forgot he had a gun? So he's gonna start using that. Or rather, Blitz will, because he got a gun too, and he is gonna stop his man from getting killed. Well, he will eventually, but they gotta drag this fight out a little bit. But at the end of all things, Stryker runs off to be seen in another episode, and Moxie gets some balls and gives a speech to her family. And we learn that Stryker was working with Stella to kill Stolas. Plot twist! But that's about it for the festival. High-key, that episode was great as a heavy Stolas enjoyer, and just as an episode in general. I think I should point out that this episode had some weird animation frame skipping throughout, and it was noticeable, but it wasn't super hugely consistent. The plot of the show was obvious outside of Stryker's motivations, but it wasn't so painfully obvious that I wasn't invested in how things could go, so it's good. Now for...
Pretty agile for an old lady. I'm like 5 years older than you.
So Truth Seekers has several parts of it that I feel make it a really iconic episode, but the plot is kind of easy to condense, so let's go. Future Kenzie here. No, it's not. There's an organization called DHORKS, or Dorks, and I googled it, and no, they don't have a full name that's official. Also, I won't be Googling really much at all, but sometimes if I want to confirm something that I initially think of, then I will. Just saying. These two members named Agents 1 and 2 are pretty much acting on their own since their superiors don't take them seriously, but they are obsessed with finding real demons and recording them and even capturing them. Well, in this episode, they do. They capture Blitzy and Moxie, and Luna and Millie are tasked with getting them back. While the two men are getting interrogated, they are essentially fucking with the two agents the entire time, but then they fill the room with truth gas, and that makes them say really regrettable shit. Like, Blitz is annoyed by Moxie talking about Millie all the time, and Moxie gets pegged by Millie. Based. And the tea spilling continues, clean up till they start tweaking, and they hash it all out as a part of a very long musical number named Moxie's Bad Trip.
My precious little bitch boy.
Stop it, sir.
Tripping balls.
This sequence features different animation styles, two different musical stylings, with one being more gritty and rock focused and the other being more reminiscent of a musical, which represents Moxie's liking of them. And I also looked up some trivia on the wiki, and it's more like Phantom of the Opera apparently, which is more specific than my assessment, but girl, I like High School Musical too, that's about it. Now, is this the iconic part for me? Nah, not really, but I would put money on this being it for a majority of others. But in general, the sequence is well done and represents their relationship with each other in a striking way that is a joy to watch. It's not my favorite song in the show, of course, but I would be hard-pressed to say that it isn't damn good at what it wanted to convey. We also get to hear straight up that Blitz pushes his friends away, and this is true because what we know so far is that he isn't cool with Veronica anymore, which seems to be his fault according to his hallucination of her. He keeps Stolas at dick's length with no real opening to get closer, even though he wants so badly to feel true love and acceptance, and his reasoning for being so toxic is because he feels that everyone will just leave him anyway. So why even bother when no one could or should love an imp like Blitz? These are some great seeds to sow, because toward the end of this sequence, Moxie learns that Blitz just wants him to sack up and be able to be a better Moxie that can speak up for himself and reach his full potential. He even says,
"Thank you, sir.
You know my name. Use it.
Thanks, Blitz.
Bitch, I could cry. So Millie and Luna finally find them and set them free, but they ain't getting out without a fight. And this is that iconic shit.
Let's fuck these fuckers up!
This scene is fucking brutal and sexy as hell. The animation is dynamic as fuck. Everybody gets to show off why the fuck they are part of Imp. Moxie is skilled with guns, at least most of the time. Millie has a giant fuck you axe and is incredibly agile and doesn't even want to use guns. Luna is just feral and uses anything on her person, teeth or otherwise. And Blitz is just...
Who wants some quality time with Daddy?
I fucking love that line. He also fights like a little freak, hanging all off of people and just doing what works. He's a dirty fighter and also has Ramona Flowers' backpack, so that's neat. After the fight, the two agents manage to escape and lock everyone in, but bitch, Stolas comes in on demon time to protect his man. Like, Lord, y'all wanna see a demon? Bitch, Stolas will bring you 7 circles over his fucking imp. Needless to say, that works very well. And then...
You're keeping quiet or I'm using those bear traps.
Oh, please do.
This episode is a 10 out of 10. If you thought I was gonna be normal about that, then you need to subscribe and get familiar because I could never. Let's go to episode 7, why don't we?
You know, you have really nice eyes, Daddy.
Now, OZZIE'S is labeled the finale of season 1, but there's actually an episode after this, so just saying, don't get lost on me. This episode is essentially about Moxie wanting to take his wifey to a club called OZZIE'S for their anniversary. Cute. And of course, Blitz doesn't get the ever so explicit hint that Moxie does not want his ass there. But of course, Blitz being attached and not very anxious about it, he follows them the whole way to them heading to OZZIE'S. Now, since he ain't got a reservation, which essentially would mean that he has to RSVP like a year in advance, he needs a way in. Enter manipulation from stage left. He calls Stolas right in the middle of him watching a soap opera of a woman crying about not being loved. Relatable. Also, if you forgot, let me remind you, it's been only 1 episode, but Stolas loves Blitz. So naturally, when Blitz calls him up trying to take him out to OZZIE'S, he is fucking jazzed up. Much to his dismay though, Blitz could care less right now, and I feel really bad for Stolas. The Stolitz fiend in me wants to find nothing wrong with how Blitz is treating him, but duh, it's written this way on purpose. Like was established before, the dude is toxic and a tad selfish as fuck. And also, Blitz put him in a fucked up situation. Now, it wasn't his fault that Fizzarali from Lululand and Verosika is here, but either way, that's just a recipe for disaster. Now, before I forget they exist, Moxie gets up on stage and sings Millie a song that prompts a musical number that lasts exactly 4 minutes and some change. Moxie trying to serenade his boo thang explodes into this massive tea sesh where Blitz gets put in the hot seat by Fizz and Verosika, just saying how shitty of a person he is. And on top of that shit sorbet, they also beat Stolas the fuck up verbally because he's dating an imp, which is seen as a fall from grace, as Ozzy says. Oh yeah, Ozzy is the one that runs OZZIE'S, go figure. It's painful for both of them, and of course, Blitz is extremely, it's a fucking X in there. It's painful for both of them, and of course, Blitz is extremely embarrassed and angry, but it's not necessarily because he got bullied in the club, but because all of these feelings he had been running away from being put on display like that. Combined with everything they said about what Stolas looks like being seen with an imp, he once again is being faced with the fact that he feels like he doesn't deserve love, or if love is being shown to him, it won't last long, so there's no reason to open up. Stolas is getting the brunt of it because he wants Blitz so bad. Regardless of how the night went, regardless of his status as a husband, father, and Goetia, and regardless of the fact that Blitz is just a broke-ass imp. That's love, baby! And Blitz ain't feeling it. Blitz says to him that he doesn't want to fuck tonight, but Stolas literally just wants to talk with him, to just be with him. It doesn't have to be transactional or physical. But Blitz has internalized the feeling that Stolas literally just wants the thrill of fucking an imp and nothing more. Stolas is left crying outside. Blitz is looking through all of the pictures of his friends and family on his phone when he gets home, and he cries as well. And that's the end of episode 7. I'm just gonna keep it a big stack because that's all I can do. Is this my personal favorite episode? No. But this episode had me feeling the most feelings out of all of them. Not a whole lot happens, but watching my 2 favorite dudes fall out like that with everything that happened prior, I think that was a powerful ending. Blitz ain't the layup with his dude watching a movie type. Not at this point. That doesn't feel real to him. He just thinks sex is all they're supposed to be having. He's pulled away from Stolas so damn much that even if he likes him back, he's really just left alone to handle that. And that sucks. But before this season ends, that is actually part 1 of the finale. Part 2 deals with the party that Tex invited Luna to. So let's see what's up with her.
I have like a rainbow in my vagina right now.
This episode is a pretty nice reprieve from the suffering from last episode. Luna is trying to fit in at a party full of hellhounds, but seeing seeing as she's kind of aggressive, it ain't going well. But that's whatever, cause we meet one of the sickest characters in this whole shit, Beelzebub, or Queen motherfucking B. The song that accompanies her, called Cotton Candy, is a fucking banger, straight up.
I'm sticky sweet, stuck in your teeth like cotton candy.
This is my favorite song in season 1. It's upbeat, stylish, low-key meaningless, but damn if I don't be singing this shit every day. So they meet face to face, and B is a massive people person, and naturally that's super intimidating. I know, cause I also fold around people. But the sad part of that is that Tex is actually her boyfriend, so Luna can't exactly date him, so it's time for her to go. Also, it's pretty obvious at this point, but on the computer mat I held up at the beginning of this, on it, B is holding a pansexual flag, and that's my cue to mention explicitly that there is not too many straight characters in this show, which is to say that there are barely any. Millie is confirmed a super strong straight ally, and everyone is pretty with the shits if the computer mat is anything to go by. The characters' sexualities are baked into the show at its core, because it's hell. People be fucking, and it would be pretty silly to hold back if you're already in hell, right? I mention this because I think it deserves a mention, because I've been focusing on Blitz and Stolas a lot throughout this bitch, and they are not the only queers in the show. Just wanted to get that out there. It's pretty crowded, actually. Blitz comes to pick her up, but because of some dude calling out to him, Luna convinces him to come inside because the dude that's next to him is actually hot, so she want to give it a shot. Now, Blitz just got through getting shitted on at the club, so he about to drink his ass off while challenging B, and this is the first time Luna calls him dad. It's when he's getting so sloshed that he can't even look straight. Now, being drunk ain't a huge problem, right? But he's definitely not in a good place mentally. Luna doesn't take too kindly to people assuming shit about Blitz. But nah, he is fucked up. He's dragging his tongue all throughout the party, and he need to leave. They both get home, and Luna is taking good care of him. This really warms my heart. He asks her, will she still be there, because he doesn't want to die alone. And she says she will be. And that's the end of episode 8. Actually, he throws up a fuck ton, and then that's the end of episode 8. So yeah, that's season 1 of Helluva Boss, and that was a roller coaster ride that you can only achieve in Thrillville Off the Rails. Do y'all even know what that is? In just 8 measly itty bitty episodes, you get to know the characters and their ins and outs in such a short period of time. The relationship between Blitz and Stolas, Blitz and his relationship with rejection and abandonment, Moxie and his just annoying ways of being sometimes, and just the way that all of the characters surrounding them each all have their own flaws and they get worked out from beginning to end. Plus, the fact that the show takes place in hell, a place colloquially known as the place where boy-loving gay asses go after they perish, this allows the characters in a way to just be fucking vulgar and unapologetic with their sexualities, their flaws, and their murderous tendencies right up till they actually have to apologize for them. While the show is a spin-off of the other hell fuck sex show, Has Been Hotel, Helluva Boss to me is more of a non-linear, digestible experience of the Helluverse, and I think that's pretty cool. Like I said before, there are a lot of haters of this show, and while that's valid, if your reasoning for that is that they just say fuck 200 times, or that it's just full of sex jokes and haha, gay safe edgy, then I mean, you're mostly correct, but there is plenty more to it, and you don't really even have to dig farther than the second episode to get some of that. Now, I'm not saying that to convince you of anything. Really, you probably have your reasons for not watching it. It ain't for everyone. And from what I've read online, those reasons are pretty set in stone, such as the weird pacing of the show due to its episodic nature. It can be immature and needlessly vulgar to some, but all of that is subjective, and of course, that's a cup of tea that I like drinking. Now, with all of that being said, this video is not definitive as of right now. I'll be covering the entirety of the next season and the shorts when everything comes out, so make sure you subscribe to me so you can keep up with my updates and uploads as they come out. And if you really liked what you saw, I got a Discord with a bunch of like-minded cute bitches in there, Twitter and Blue Sky for haha funny shit, and a Patreon and memberships where they get early access to my videos and clip updates, even things that don't make it into videos sometimes. I also have to mention, because this literally just happened to me, Katakawa took down one of my videos wrongfully, even though it was fair use, so I'm gonna mention my Patreon one more time and the fact that it is free to join. The video that I uploaded for early access on the video that Katakawa took down, it's now available for all members, free or paid. Paid members get early access and clips and all that other good shit, but the free members get to see that video for free. All you gotta do is sign up for free. Totally fine. But while you're looking into all of that juicy stuff, make sure you stay safe, stay hydrated, and most importantly, Stay cute.
I'm not here to